60-minute full body asana practice. It is multi-level. It supposes a basic understanding of yoga. You can make it more difficult or easier for yourself as we go along, and I'll give some options for that. I do highly encourage the use of a block for practice. I'll show some poses using the block. Even if I don't show it, if you would like to use it, please do. And if you don't need it, you don't need to use it. So let's get started. We'll start in extended child's pose. Come to the back of your mat. Put your big toes so that they touch, your knees slightly wide. Your torso lies down over your thighs, forehead to the floor, arms extended overhead. Lightly engage your shoulders on your back. Let the weight of your head drop into the floor. Feel the weight of your hips moving towards your heels. Long, soft breath. And lightly seal the lips, take the breath through the nose, and keep it there as much as possible during practice. Take a moment to invite your full attention into your body, onto your mat. For the next 60 minutes, we will be fully present to our practice, feeling into our body, feeling into our being, expanding, softening, strengthening. Deep, full breath. On your next inhale, lift your gaze, look at your hands. Make sure that your hands are shoulder distance apart, your fingers are spread wide on the mat. Slightly turned out towards your pinky finger to help your shoulders open. Another inhale, and we tuck our toes, push the hips to the heels, stretch the soles of the feet. Begin to come in contact with Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha, the two energy locks at the base of the spine and just below the navel. Invite them to come into your practice. One more inhale, lift your knees, lift your sit bones high towards the ceiling. On an exhale, lower your heels to or toward the floor, soften your knees. Let your head hang down, downward facing dog. Melt your heart back toward your thighs. Shoulder blades come onto the spine. They slide down the spine toward the waist. Try not to collapse into the shoulders and the armpits. Lift up, weight in the hands. Take your gaze right between your legs. Downward facing dog. Shift your weight into your left leg, lift your right. Lift it high through the heel, foot is active. Find the midline of the leg, lift through your inner thigh, equal weight in both your hands. On an exhale, sweep your knee to your heart as you look forward, come into one leg plank. Inhale, kick your leg back and high, one leg downward facing dog. Exhale, knee to heart, one leg plank, look forward. One more time, kick back and draw in. Kick back. Knee to heart and hold here, look forward, make room under your body. Place your right foot down, left knee down. Lifting your hands to the air, lift through your hips. Lengthen your tailbone, lift your sternum, and on an exhale, move into your right knee without collapsing the back. Lift your gaze, lift your sternum more. Draw your right hip back as your left hip moves forward. You can see me demonstrating that in my hips. Open your throat. And it's an inhale to lift back to center, easy twist, left hand down under your shoulder, right hand high, opening right, look up, and exhale down, frame your foot with your hands, lift your back leg, lift your hips, make room for your knees, step back, downward facing dog. Other side, weight in the right leg lifts high. Lifting through your heel, lifting through the inside line of the leg. Knee to heart, look forward, one leg plank. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Knee to heart, and back. And forward. Enjoy the movement in your hips and your shoulders, and back. Last one. Draw forward, place your foot down, right knee down, and lifting. Arms high, left hip back, right hip forward, integrity through the spine as we move into the left knee. Lift your sternum, lift your gaze, drop your shoulders, release your jaw. Inhale back to center, open twist left, right hand down under the shoulder, left hand high. Take your gaze high. Bring the left hand down, that's an exhale, frame your foot, lift your back leg, lift your hips, lift your knee, downward facing dog. Lift your gaze, look towards your hands, soften your knees, walk, step, or jump forward on an exhale. Lift halfway, stretch through the crown of your head, and exhale to fold. Standing forward bend will stay here. Let the full weight of your head hang towards the floor. Soften your knees if you need to. If you would like more stretch, you can take your arms behind your shins and either embrace your shins or interlace your hands around your ankles. This is a place where you can bring the block into play if you want less stretch and want the block in front of you. Release your hands from wherever they are, push into your feet, and slowly on an inhale, roll your spine up to standing. Finding Tadasana or mountain pose at the top, open your palms, open your shoulders, open your eyes. Tailbone reaches long, belly lifts, sternum lifts, kneecaps lift. Sweep your hands high on an inhale, reach tall, full stretch. Exhale, flat back, arms through a T all the way down. Inhale to lift halfway, fingertips can come to your shins if you prefer. Stretch through the crown of your head and exhale to fold. Inhale to lift halfway once again. On your fold, exhale, step your right leg back, drop your right knee down. Move into your left knee. Inhale back to center, right hand down, left hand high. Bring your left hand down, frame your foot, step back, downward facing dog. Lift your gaze, look at your hands, soften your knees, move forward on an exhale, walk, step, or jump. Lift halfway when you arrive, and then fold. Exhale. All the way up to standing flat back this time, arms through a T, full stretch. Lower your hands to heart center. Sweeping the hands high, inhale. Exhale, flat back out. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to fold. Step the left leg back, left knee down. Lifting. Inhale. Exhale into your pose. Inhale here. Sweep the left hand down, right hand high. Open to the right. And down. Frame your foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank on an inhale. As we move towards plank, we lift rather than dropping. So lift through your hips, lift through your shoulders, unfurl your spine. Find plank, high plank. Inhale here. Exhale, drop your knees, chest, chin, elbows hug the ribs, look forward. Extend your feet, light pressure in your hands, low cobra. Elbows and shoulders are back, heart lifts. Inhale to roll down, we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up, shoulders back. Exhale down. Push with your hands, take your hips back as you tuck your toes. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Weight in the left leg, right leg high. One leg plank, knee to heart, look forward. Take your leg high, that's an inhale. Exhale, forward. Inhale, take your leg high, this time moving to warrior 1. Exhale, knee to heart, step your foot down, left heel comes down, foot moves a little bit wide. Lifting with your inhale. Let's drop our hands to the hips and really find warrior 1. So we want the outside of the left heel firmly on the ground, lifting through the left leg. So you can come out of your front knee to really lift through the back leg. We want to lift through the inside line, which brings our left hip forward, right hip back. Tailbone a little bit long, belly lifts, Uddiyana Bandha. Arms high, holding all of that, move into your front knee without sacrificing your back leg. Toes are long and soft, shoulders move down. Feel solid, feel light and bright. Warrior 1. Long, easy breath. On your last inhale, lift your gaze, look up, stretch up. Exhaling, bring your hands through heart center, find the mat, frame your foot, step back to plank. Make room for your knee, take your leg back, inhale here. Knees, chest, chin, drop your knees, look forward, release your feet, inhale, low cobra. You can push lightly with your hands to come up a little higher. Exhaling, roll down. Knees back to heels, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Left leg high, weight into the right leg. Knee to heart, one leg plank. Left leg high. Sweep forward. And high. This time moving to warrior 1, knee to heart. Place your foot down, right heel comes down, foot moves wide, lifting on an inhale. Let's do the same thing we did on the first side, hands to hips. Find the back heel, find the back leg, and move the hips square to front. Lower your tailbone, lift through your belly, arms high. Move into your front knee. Warrior 1. So in all of the warrior poses, we're always working to have a very solid base. We're very, very solid and rooted, and we're very light on the top. So we're ready to move, we're ready to shift, ready for whatever life brings, like a good warrior. Lift on your inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center, hands to the floor, frame your foot, step back plank. Inhale, knees, chest, chin, look forward. Release your feet, low cobra. Exhale to roll down, hips to heels, tuck your toes, push with your hands. Downward facing dog. Lift your gaze, look at your hands, soften your knees, move forward. Lift halfway when you arrive, exhale to fold. Inhale to lift to standing, coming through flat back, arms out through a T. Full stretch at the top. On your exhale, lower your hands, take them behind you, interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. Bring the palms of your hands together. So to do that, you need to really move your shoulders and elbows back. You want the palms to touch. So this is already a back bend. Take your tailbone a little bit longer. Lift your sternum, take your knuckles down. Think of moving up more than moving back. Lift, lift, lift. And on an exhale, soften your knees, bend forward, take your hands overhead. Knuckles reach up and over, toward the ceiling, maybe toward the floor, release your head. Lift halfway on an inhale, flat back, change the grip of your hands. Put the other thumb on top. Grow long in your spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale up, flat back, all the way up to standing. Release your hands, sweep them high. Bend your knees, chair pose. So we want the knees tracking straight forward. We want the toes not gripping, so you can pick them up off the floor and put them back down. We also don't want to be way forward in our pose. If you can't see your toes, you can look down. Pull your knees back till you can see your toes, and then lift your gaze. Tailbone moves down, but it's not overly tucked. It moves back, but it's not released. So we find a nice midway where we can lift. Lift through the sternum, drop your shoulders. One more inhale here. On the exhale, hands through the heart, hands to hips. Shift your weight into your left leg. Float the right, step it back. Heel down, warrior one. Hands high. I just widen my stance. You might want to do that too. Left foot wider. Hands high, drop your shoulders, move into your front knee. We'll move to warrior three. So look right towards the front of the room. Look in front of you. Sweep your hands back. Lift your heel. Shift your weight. As you're ready, lift. Gaze stays lifted along the floor. Try not to look down at your foot, because if you look down at your foot, that's where you'll go. Back to warrior one. Soften your front knee. Sweep your hands high, foot down. Rearrange yourself, find your pose. Deep inhale, open twist to the left, exhale, reach back. Only the torso twists. Reach. We'll drop the left hand back, lift the right, find the back of your right thigh with your left hand, look over your left shoulder, lift your heart. Use an inhale to come back to center. Exhale, hands through heart center to the mat. Step back, find plank. You may repeat knees, chest, chin, or you may take chaturanga. That's what I'll show. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga, almost to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog, or cobra if that's your choice. Exhale, lifting hips back to downward facing dog. Moving forward, lift your gaze, soften your knees, walk, step, or jump. Lift halfway when you arrive. Fold on your breath, exhale. Inhale, flat back all the way up to standing. Bend your knees, leave your arms high, chair pose. So take a moment to find the pose once again. Find the lift, find the stability, hug your knees. Drop your hands to your hips so the concentration is on the legs. Weight in the right leg, float the left, step back, heel down. Widen your stance if you like. Warrior one. Sweep your arms high as you're ready. So every pose requires micro adjustments, and every time we arrive, it's different. So give yourself a moment to really find your pose, settle in and feel it. Moving towards warrior three, reach tall, that's an inhale. Exhale, sweeping the hands back, lift your heel, shift your weight, and lift, warrior three. Stretch long through the crown of your head, back through your left foot. Moving back to warrior one as gracefully as you can. Bend your front knee, place your foot down, place your heel down, arms high. Open twist to the right, take the right arm back, left arm forward. Hips stay stable. Drop the right hand to the left thigh, lift the left arm, look over your right shoulder. And hands through heart center, exhale, hands to the mat, step back, find plank. Inhale here, chaturanga, or knees chest in, of course. Inhale, upward facing dog. Knees lift off the mat, shoulders are back. Downward facing dog. Find your favorite route to arrive. Left standing leg, sweep your right leg high. Look forward. Inhale, kick back, one leg dog. Exhale, knee to heart. Inhale, kick back, one leg dog. Moving to warrior two, knee to heart, foot down. Left heel moves down as the hips open left. Inhale to windmill your hands high, come up and look over your right hand. So we want to have our back toes turned a little bit forward. Front toes point straight towards the front of the mat. Hips are stacked over, shoulders are stacked over hips. So we avoid unstacking and reaching with the torso. We stack, move just into the front knee and turn the head. Shoulders down. Gaze long, warrior two. Dancing warrior, palm up. Inhale to lift your right hand, drop your left. Inhale, back up, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, triangle pose, Trikonasana, or you can use your block. You can use your block or do it free. Inhale, fill with air. Exhale, reach out and down. Find your block on the outside of your leg. I prefer that you do not actually use your leg. That can put pressure on the knee. So use the block. It has 3 heights. Or come down to the floor. If you come to the floor, be careful that you're not sacrificing your pose to reach the floor. We want length in the spine. So I do encourage use of the block if that feels good to you. Take your head back along the spine line. Gaze moves up. And let's take our fingers overhead, stretch all the way from the outside of the left heel through the left fingertips. Notice if your right shoulder released forward and take it back onto your back. Left hand high, left hand to hip, take your gaze down. We'll move into half moon pose. Soften your front knee. If you're working with a block, take it with you. Your right hand moves out and at an angle. Left foot can pop up or you can step it up, lifting. Straighten the left leg a lot. I'm going to move my hand out further. Flex your left foot and open your left hip towards the ceiling. Take your arm up if you're comfortable there. Take your gaze around if you can. So lots of stages to this pose. You can be working on this with the block. You might not need it and have your hand on the floor. You might be working towards finding balance, in which case you would lift your hand from the floor and hold. So wherever you are, that's fine. To release, left hand to the hip. Bend your knees, step your foot back, find warrior two, lifting. Swim your hands around, find the mat, frame your foot, step back, plank pose. Inhale. Exhale all the way down to the mat, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Come down with your belly, come down with your forehead. On your inhale, lift only your legs. Reach back through your toes, shoulders are on your back. Holding the legs where they are, press lightly in your hands and lift sternum, head, and gaze. Stay here, or if you like, float the hands. Use an exhale to release slowly to the mat. Hips to heels, pushing in the hands, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Left leg high. Left knee to heart, one leg plank. Left leg high. Left knee to heart. Left leg high. Moving to warrior two, knee to heart. Left foot down, right heel down. Windmill the hands up. Find stability in your stance. So I just moved my foot over to get the right alignment. We want the heel about to the arch of the back foot. I usually need to turn my toes in a little bit, line up my shoulders and hips, and move into my front knee as I move my gaze. Micro adjustments, always. And then settle in. Feel the strength of your warrior, the lightness of your warrior. And with that lightness, we'll dance it. Drop the right hand down, lift the left, open your heart, open your throat. Back up to warrior two, inhale. Extend your left leg, Trikonasana. Once again, the block. Sakshi tends to forget it till the last moment. Inhale here. Exhale, reach out, reach down, find your block, find the floor, whichever one it will be. Open your right hip, open your shoulders, move your head back, turn your gaze up. Take your arm overhead. See if you can swing your pinky finger a little bit down and open your shoulders. Take your gaze up, reach long. Find the outside of your left heel, your right heel, the tips of your right fingertips. Reach your right arm high, right arm to hip, moving into half moon pose. Take your block if you like. Soften your left knee, move your block, move your hand, step your foot in or lift it directly. So sometimes this can take a little while to find our balance. Take a moment, look down, don't do too much. As you're ready, open your hip, Flex your foot. Nice, straight, strong right leg. Right arm goes up and gaze comes around if you like. To release, right hand down to hip, soften your front knee, step back, touch warrior two. Windmill the hands down, find the mat, frame your foot, step back to plank. Deep inhale in plank, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, all the way down to the mat. On your inhale, lift everything without thinking about it. Feet, arms, head, gaze. And release, slowly down. Hands under your shoulders, hips to heels, do not tuck your toes. Extended child's pose. Take a breath or two here. Lift your gaze and look at your fingers. Shoulders are actively on the back. On an exhale, walk your hands to the right. Lift your torso, place it on top of your right thigh. Draw your left hip back and exhale to fold right. Reach from your left hip through your left fingertips. You can draw your right hand back by your hip if you like. Lifting the gaze, that's an inhale, walk back to center. And exhale, other side, moving left, torso on the thigh. Right hip draws back, reach through the right fingertips. If you want, draw your left hand in. Lift your gaze, it's an inhale to walk back to center. Exhale to fold. And moving back to downward dog as you feel ready. Lifting hips. Settle in. Moving forward on your mat, lift your gaze. Walk, step, or jump on the exhale. Stretch through the crown of your head when you arrive and fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Hands to heart center. Moving into tree pose, shift your weight into your left leg. Float the right, hands at heart center. You can place your foot on your shin. You can leave your toes on the ground. Or you can bring your foot all the way up to your inner groin. Please do not put your foot on your knee. Lift your gaze to horizon line. Avoid looking towards the floor. Press your foot into your leg and your leg into your foot, and then lift through your whole body. Drop your shoulders, root through your foot. Raise your branches if you like. We will release high. Bring your hands to heart. Don't drop your gaze. Release your knee, lift it high. Take your hands to your knee. Hug your knee in as you take your shoulders back. Open twist to the right. Options here. Leave your left hand on your knee and open the right. Leave the leg bent. Or reach for your foot or your toe with your left hand and extend your leg. Coming back to center, collect yourself, hands to heart center, knee is high, release it down. Other side, tree pose, release the left foot, right standing leg. Choose the height of your foot, place it. Hug center line and lift high. Hands at heart center to start, lift your gaze. Branches raise as you're ready. Feel the firmness and the flexibility of a tree. Rooted down, reaching up. Able to move with the wind. Releasing high, hands to heart center, lift your knee. Refind your balance. Hold your knee, hug it in, shoulders back. Choose your twist. Right hand on knee, left hand opens, or reach for your foot or your toe. Stretch your leg and open. Releasing back to center, hands to heart, knee high, foot down. Take a moment. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, flat back out, all the way down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, step back, downward facing dog. Left standing leg, right leg high, inhale. Exhale, open your hip to the right, bend your knee, lift the knee, hug the heel into your glutes. Now notice if you collapsed your left shoulder, lift it, square it, lift through your knee. Hold here, or optional wild thing. If you want to move into wild thing, reach back with your right foot, find the floor, turn your left foot, reach overhead, lift your hips. All coming back to center, lift your hand, lift your leg. We extend our leg, one leg dog, bring it down, find your dog. Recenter on your mat. Right standing leg, left leg high. Square your shoulders as you open your hips, bend your knee, draw your heel in. This can be plenty for you. If you'd like to work on your wild thing, drop back, find the floor, lift your hips, reach overhead. Some people prefer to lower their foot. You can do it either way. Left hand high, one leg dog. Come back to center, here we are. Moving forward on your mat, lift your gaze, soften your knees, walk, step, or jump to your hands. Exhale. Stretch when you arrive and fold. Lift to standing, inhale. Chair pose, exhale. Bend your knees. Take it as deep as you can. Challenge yourself a little bit. Hands to heart center, taking it all the way down. Lift your heels and balance. Squeeze the knees, squeeze the hands, and find lightness. If you collapse onto your heels, you'll become unstable. So there's lift in this pose. Slowly release back, take your heels back, take your hands to the floor, heel, toe your feet apart. Take your toes out at a 45-degree angle, knee, elbows inside of the knees, hands together, lift your heart. So this pose can look really different for different people. You might not be able to get your heels down. You can use a blanket under your heels if you like. You can have your elbows higher if you can't get inside. This is what we're aiming for. Drop the hips straight down towards the mat. Taking a twist while we're here, extend the right arm long, shoulder comes to the inside of the knee, left arm reaches high. Take your gaze around. Lots of options here, either hold right here, or take your left hand around and reach for a half bind. If you would like, or if it's in your practice, you can go for a full bind, right hand to left wrist, and then opening, pulling on the left arm. Release back to center from wherever you are. And other side, left arm out, Shoulder to the inside of your knee, right arm high, gaze high. Options, half bind or full bind. This time it's left hand to right wrist. Don't hold the bind if you feel like you've sacrificed your pose too much to get there. So just work wherever you are. Make sure you can open with whatever you're doing. And release back to center. Hands to heart. Slowly release your sit bones to the floor. Find the mat. Bring the soles of your feet together for Baddha Konasana. This is another good moment for your block. You can place it in front of you as a headrest, or if you need two blocks, you can stack them up. Hold your feet or hold your ankles. Rock forward on your sit bones. Lift your sternum. And then folding right from your hip crease, we'll move forward. Think of moving the heart forward rather than moving it down. So we reach forward and long, forward and long, forward and long. You can really use your arms to pull. When you can't go any further, you can move your shoulders and your head over that fold. And hold. Energy in the knees move towards the floor. And release, lift on an inhale. Seated spinal twist. Left foot crosses over. If your right knee is very uncomfortable here, you can do this pose with your leg extended. Your option. Left hand behind, right hand high, inhale. On your exhale, either hug your knee or hook your elbow. Pause here, use your left hand behind your spine, and an inhale to grow tall, and then exhale to twist. Feel the twist come up from your belly and move up your spine. Your head floats on top. Take the gaze over your left shoulder. Notice if your right shoulder collapsed and take it back. Slowly unwind, come back to center. Stack your knees just like they are. If your right leg is extended, you can just pull your knee across your straight leg. Inhale to lift and exhale to fold forward. Lifting, inhale. Other side, shift your weight back, uncross your legs, and change. So left heel comes into the hip, right leg moves across. The other option looks like this. Right hand behind you, left hand high. Inhale, exhale into your twist, hook your elbow or hug your knee. So you can try both of those and see what feels good for you. Different things, different days. Push with your back hand, lift tall. Exhale to twist around, take your gaze around. There is effort in the left elbow against the knee. It helps to support. Slow release, back around, stack your knees. Both sit bones on the floor, inhale to lift and fold on an exhale. Coming back up, fill with air, inhale. Unstack your knees, come back briefly to Baddha Konasana. Reach for the pinky toe sides of your feet and shift back on your sit bones. So we're going to look for balance. You can stay right here and look for balance here. If you've got this one and you want to go further, work towards opening your legs to the side. You can stop anywhere along the way. Maybe you open them all the way. Lift through your sternum, push into your hands with your feet, and pull with your arms. As you pull with your biceps, you lower your shoulders and you open your heart even more. Moving towards boat pose, draw your legs to the center. They can be straight, like mine, or they can be bent like this. Lots of options here. Lift your heart. Eventually release your hands, legs straight or legs bent, it doesn't matter. Inhale here, exhale, half boat pose. Lumbar spine comes down, feet stay up, head is up, shoulders are up. And knees to heart, Apanasan. Hug your knees in, come down onto your back, drop your shoulders onto the mat. Take a little rock back and forth with your knees, rock across your sacrum. Drop your feet to the floor and draw your heels in close to your glutes. Knees are pointing straight up towards the ceiling, arms along your side. Moving into bridge pose, snuggle your shoulders under your heart so that your heart lifts off the floor. I'll show you that again. So there's a little space under your heart. And then with an inhale, push into your feet, track your knees straight forward and lift your hips. You can stabilize yourself with your hands. You can walk your shoulders in more. You can interlace your fingers underneath you. These are all different stages. If you interlace your hands, push with your pinkies on the floor and lift even more. So we want the glutes to be active but not overly active. So they help to lift. Weight in the back of your head to open your throat. Lift your chin, bridge pose. And to release your hands, open your shoulders, roll slowly down through your whole spine. Step your feet a little wider apart and let your knees fall from one side to the other. And coming back, another bridge. Pull your heels in. Put your arms down, palms down, shoulders under. With an inhale, push into your feet, lift your hips. Find your pose. Slow release. Lift both feet off the ground. Shins are parallel to the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left, eye of the needle pose. Move your right knee wide. Both feet are flexed and active. Reach through to the back of your left leg. Some of you might be able to reach through to the top of your left knee. Whichever one it is, slowly draw your left leg in as you move your right knee wide. Drop your shoulders, release your jaw. Take your tailbone long along the floor, so we do want to feel the lumbar spine supported by the floor. The difference would be rolling up onto our kidneys. This is very unsupported, not safe for the low back, so lengthen the lower spine. Slow release, do a leg change in the air. Left ankle up on the right knee, left knee moves wide. Reach through, find your grip, either on the hamstring or on the knee. Pulling in, release your shoulders. And release your legs, take your feet down. Take your left leg long along the floor. You can have your block handy at your side if you want. You'll see if you need it or not. Right knee in towards your right armpit. Left leg is long and straight, both feet are flexed. So draw your right knee in and wide. Hopefully you feel a diagonal stretch across the front of your torso right into your left groin. Leave your left hand on your right knee, take your right arm out, place it on the floor, palm down. Draw your left knee across your body as you let your hips and your back peel up off the floor. This is where you can use your block if you like. Pull it under your knee. If you don't want it or don't need it, you can let your knee come down to or towards the floor. And then I like to move my left shoulder here out to make room for my right shoulder to come down. Look over your right hand. So there are two options to deepen this twist. Maybe you're very happy here. And if you are, you should stay here. Option 1, take your right foot in your left hand and kick it out. Maybe you straighten it. Option 2, bend the left leg, grab it with your right hand, move your thigh so that it's parallel with the long edge of your mat, drop your shoulder, and kick that hand into your foot into your hand. Gaze is right. Slow release, left leg first if you took a hold, then right leg, come back to the center. Square yourself on your mat, right leg long, left knee in, hug it towards the armpit. So really wake up your right leg. Your right leg is part of the pose. It pushes into the floor, your foot is flexed. It's always good to take a moment to notice differences in the flexibility of the different sides of your body. Sometimes the difference is just day to day, like, oh yeah, yesterday I could do less or more. Right hand to left knee, left hand out, left palm down. Pull your knee across, pull your block under if you like, or let your knee come to the floor, readjust your shoulders. Take your gaze over your left hand. Okay, options, either stay here or take your left foot with your right hand, extend. Stay here. Or find your right foot with your left hand, draw your thigh down, rearrange your shoulders, take your gaze out over your left shoulder. Push with both feet into your hands. Slow release, right leg first, then left leg, come back to center, square yourself on the mat. Now we'll all find our block. We're going to do a supported bridge and inversion here. So put your block right by your hips, feet are on the mat, heels are close in.
Inhale to lift your hips and slide your block under your sacrum.
So the block has 3 heights. It has the low wide height, it has the side, or it has all the way up. If you do not have a block with you and you would like to do this practice, you can take your hands and support your hips. If that is not comfortable, you can do a free bridge. Okay, so we want to have the triangular bone, the sacrum, on the block. We do not want the block on the soft muscle tissue of the low back. We want it at the base of the spine. Shoulders are open, throat is open. If you would like an inversion, you can raise one leg at a time toward the ceiling. Waterfall posture. Reach up through the ball mounds of your feet. Let the full weight of your legs fall onto the block. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. To release, lower 1 foot at a time to the mat. Find both feet flat on the floor. Lift your hips, slide the block out, and slowly lower through your whole spine. One more time, knees to chest. Take a little roll back and forth. Massage your lower back. I like to rock my head too. Feels good. And then release your legs, extend them along your mat, and we'll move into Shavasana, or final resting pose, corpse pose. Legs long, feet hip distance apart. Let your feet fall out. Some people like to spread their legs more. That's good too. Arms out to the side, palms up, shoulders back. I tucked mine a little bit. You might want to move your tailbone long if it crunched up on the way down. Find yourself long and soft and comfortable. You can pull a support under your knees if you like, a blanket or a bolster. And then just take a little roam around your body and notice where there's tension and let it go. Feel your skeleton very, very heavy. Your muscles very soft. Let your muscles hang off of your bones. Release your jaw. Let your tongue fall to the floor of your mouth. Your eyes are closed. Feel the weight of your eyes moving back in the sockets in your head. Soft belly. Soft cheeks. Soft forehead. Release. Begin to let your breath expand in your body. Long, deep inhale. Slow, complete exhale. And ride your breath into your physical body and start to locate it in time and space. Find your fingers and toes. Maybe rock your head back and forth. Find your long limbs, your arms and your legs. Wake them up. Maybe stretch a little bit. And as you're ready, pull your knees back into your chest. Fall over to one side, right or left. Stay there for at least one full breath. Then use your hands on the floor to slowly push your torso up. Let your head come last. Let your eyes open gently. Keep a soft gaze. Find any comfortable sitting posture. And bring your hands together in front of your heart, palms touching, thumbs near your breastbone. Bow your head a bit towards your hands in this mudra, or this hand position of gratitude. Offer yourself gratitude for coming onto your mat, for caring enough to spend an hour practicing. And then let your gratitude ripple out to everything in your life that supports you to be able to practice so many things. Such good fortune. Open your eyes wider. Lift your thumbs to your third eye. Lift your heart. Inhale. And exhaling, we'll seal our practice together as we bow. Namaste. I salute you. Thank you for practicing with me. Have a wonderful day.